want to talk about. You, nigga, you cheated on me in jail. I was with her and you was with me. What's there to talk about?
Selfie?
Hey, no, we're recording, honey.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we're walking the lake. Yes, we are. Sexy as hell. Us too. What's up, people?
Hi.
Hey.
Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new, I want to say welcome. And if you have been true and subscribed, I want to say welcome back and welcome to the family. So today we are going to do story time because I've noticed in the comments some people were asking about story time. They wanted to know a little bit more about like my past exes, boyfriends, just any story time that I can provide. And fortunately for you, there is a lot of stories that I could tell you that I've experienced in my 33 years of living. You know, I experienced a lot with men in life and just different scenarios that I was put in and situations that I was put in. So story time about that will be no problem. So we're going to tell you about the story about how I found out my man was cheating on me with someone while he was locked up. So let me say that again. How I found out I was being cheated on while my man was locked up. You heard it right. How the hell you gonna cheat on me while you locked up? And that's bold. Men are like the cleverest, slickest human beings I've ever seen. Like, they know how to cheat very well, I must say. So, let's start out. How did I meet him? I might just show a photo, but blank out his face, but that really means nothing to you guys in a way. But this is a real life, real true story. So I met him when I was in high school. I went to Washburn High School. And growing up in high school, like going to Washburn High School, I wasn't really popular. And I really wasn't a nerd. I was like a nobody, like literally a nobody. So people would pick on me. I always got bullied. I would be afraid to go to certain classes because there would be like class clowns in the classroom, and they would talk about, you know, just people if you weren't like dressed apart, if you didn't have like the new Nikes, the new Jordans or anything. And back then, I just didn't have all that. My mom raised 10 of us. Well, she had 10 kids, and 5 of us she raised in Minnesota, and then the other 5 were like in other states. So my mom we just had it really hard growing up. So we just mostly had hand-me-downs. We definitely didn't have any like name brand stuff. It's not until I grew up and got a job and started like providing myself with my own needs. So in high school, I was like literally a lame, and it's okay because people that picked on me, look at them now. So I'm okay with being a lame because now it's like seems like everybody wants to be my friend now. Now that you bully me and they see that I turned up to be motivated, a business owner, got a nice career. So now they just want to be my friends. It's so weird. But anyway, so I was much of a lame and I was still a virgin. So just imagine being a freshman in high school. Everyone's having sex but you. And sophomore year, same thing. Still a virgin. Yep. Still didn't have sex. But anyway, so it was this guy, he was a part of the football team. And everybody loved love is a little strong for high school. Everybody liked a lot the guys who were like into sports back in school. If you were on the basketball team, the football team, you know, girls, when they would be in the hallway, like girls would all flock to them and stuff. And yeah, much like what you see in movies, that really happened at Washburn High School in Minnesota, in South Minneapolis. Yes. You play for the basketball football team, you're automatically cool. You're automatically cool. Me, I was just still the lame nerd over here. Like, no one paid attention to me. I went to my locker, holding my books in my backpack, and everybody wouldn't use lockers, but here I am with my combination going over there to my locker like, well, yeah, I'm just a lame over here. No one paid attention to me, no one. And yeah, so when the guys would be walking the hallways, they have the girls that was like dressed nice, looked good, brand name clothes on. They would talk to them, flirt with them, kiss. I ain't know nothing about none of that. I'm like, yeah, just, I don't know anything about kissing and hugging and all that stuff, but they would be like all over them. So me, I'm just at my locker, just grab my book so I can go to my next class. So it was this one guy, his name, what can I name him for this video without, in case he comes across this video to see that I'm rehashing our story and I don't want him to feel some type of way because he's my friend now. But we're gonna call him High School Jock, maybe. Yeah, let's just say it that way. I don't know if I should give him a name. We're gonna call him Michael. But he was the high school jock, like he was like, but we're gonna call him Michael for this thing so it doesn't give away anything. So it was this guy named Michael, and he was on the football team, very tall. Very tall. When you see him in the hallway, it seemed like everybody was parting, like, or maybe I feel like he was so popular that people got out his way. Now, Lily, I'm in the midst of I'm telling my story here. No, it's lip gloss. Yeah, I'm telling my story. Okay, so, sorry, my cat interrupted. Where's that? Oh, so it seemed like everybody parted the hallways when he would walk by. It's just like, what? Like he literally was like super cool. Or maybe people were scared of him, but he was super fine, super cool, and scared of him. Because I just don't get why even the guys were like, they'll move over to the lockers. There's lockers on each side. They'll kind of, he's coming through, whatever. And I just would stare at him like, dude, you're tall. And you're cute. But I don't know nothing about anything farther than that. I'm just like such a lame. So I kept that to myself, but I would just stare at him. So Michael would walk down the hallways, he'll talk to a lot of people, like everybody knew him. No one picked on him. He was tall, like you would be scared to pick on him. And the crazy thing about it, he wasn't the person that had every name brand shoe, but yet he was cool because he was on the football team. So there was cooler kids that had way more name brand stuff, but he was on the football team, tall, nobody messing with him, and he still had some name brand stuff. He just didn't have how kids be having like every single Jordans that come out. He wasn't that type. Like he'll cop some Jordans or something, but he ain't finna have like every single pair. Like that wasn't his concern because he knew he could still pull yo lady, and yo lady. So Michael walked down the hallway, and I just go to my class, be the lame that I am, just in the lameville. I don't want to call it that. I hope I'm not offending nobody because I know legit I got bullied and I know I was legit a nobody to people. So that's what I call myself, a lame. Like, and maybe I shouldn't use that word. I was just a nobody. How about that? That's a better word to say it. I was a nobody and I wasn't cool. So I had like my 3 friends that I was like really close to, and we were part of the nobody crew. We didn't have like all the fancy stuff. So I would just hang out with them. And, what led to me like being bullied even more in high school was I was constantly being picked on in math class by this class clown because my shoes wasn't up to par, and I would just get embarrassed and the teacher wouldn't come to my aid. They would just keep going with the math lessons, and I was just literally just sad and crying. And I was like, I don't want to go to a class where they're not going to defend me and you want me to continue to do my homework and I'm scared to go to class. So it led to me just roaming the hallways to hide from math class. So I started hiding from math class, and I know that's affected my grade, but it's like, when will the teachers stand up, like, for people that's getting bullied? There is people in this world who can't afford that. Like, my parents couldn't afford that. So if I'm avoiding class, try to see why. Nope, but they didn't care. Anyway, so I avoided math class, and I would roam the hallways, and it was another friend of mine who also she was part of the three group, me, her, and the other girl. So we were part of the nobody crew. She knew I was afraid to go to math class, and there was a certain class that she was also afraid for because she was being picked on. And we would just hang out in the hallways together. But there was like this hall monitor guy. It was a guy, and then sometimes they would switch off and be a different person. And they would monitor the hallways to make sure that the kids are going to the class. So I felt like we were playing not musical chairs, but we were playing like hallway musical chairs, where we were like, whatever hallway the hall monitor was on, we would go to a different floor. Basement, third, second, we're everywhere. We're hiding in corners because way Washburn High School is, there's certain hallways that had like a corner where it was like small corner where you could kind of hide. Then you could look over and see if there's anybody in the hallway. There's sometimes when teachers come out, we just was super scared. So we did that for some months. In my poor math class, I just started failing, all because I was getting bullied, and it was just hard for me to go to that class. So I ended up still getting my diploma, but I'm just saying, like, I didn't get my diploma from Washburn. I ended up leaving this whole school because of another bully situation that just rocked the school nation. But I'll tell you about that a different time. So I ended up just failing math, so I still kept just roaming, just waiting for this whole semester to be over because I couldn't deal with being in this class with this certain person. And still to this day, the certain person is on Facebook requesting to be my friend. I added him. We don't say anything at all, but I'm like, do you remember, like, you used to pick on me? Like, now you want to be my friend on Facebook? Like, that's so funny to me. But, you know, I'm 33 and I'm an adult now. I'm not going to hold anybody accountable. There must have been something wrong in his life that created him and made him want to be a bully and come to school and bully people. So it got to be a story around it, and I got to look at their story as well. Yes, I don't like what you did because you ruined me as a child, but I'm not going to hold that against him. So yes, you can still be my friend. Let's not talk about it. We don't need to rehash it. Now, if you want to apologize, then cool. But so I would run the hallways, and then the school jock came down the hallway, Michael, and he seen me and my friend, we just hanging in the crevices of the corner over there, just hanging out, not, supposed to be working, but we're not, just hiding, waiting for, the bell to ring so we can. And he had said something to me, and I said, hi, me being so like nervous. I'm like, hi, like, why you want to talk to me? I'm like, my shoes, they're not named brand. I look like, my hair, like, I'm not like cool. But he's the type that he's seen through all of that. He doesn't define people by what you wear, because he still talked to me, and I was like shaking, like, hi. But he ended up, just talking to me. Every time he would see me in the hallway, he would just keep talking to me, and I was like, he's super nice. And when he would walk the hallways, I would just like stare at him, like he actually talked to me. And people still part ways when he would come in the hallway. Like, he was just super cool. And just the way he walked, he had like a slow, methodical walk. Like, yeah, I'm the cool one. Like, he just even walked slow, like super cool. Like, just super cool. Like, dude, most people just walk the hallways. This dude, like, I'm like, yeah, dude, I know you're not a virgin. I just know you're not part of my crew. But, so one day he came up to me again, and this time we was in the hallway, and it was like literally a lot of people in the hallway because we're heading to our next class. And this next class I wasn't going to skip because I wasn't getting bullied in there. So if you're not going to bully me in a class, yes, I'll go and do my work. And I will do it really good and good grades, like, long as you don't bully me. But when you bully me, I don't want to show up, because if I feel like you're not going to have my back, and certain classes, they did not have your back. And maybe they were scared too. I don't. So he came up to me in the hallway, and I'm thinking, like, now this is embarrassing because all spotlight on me, and he's coming up to talk to me, like, what does he want from me? Like, I'm like, and then I get more embarrassed, like, I'm already a lame, now all eyes on me. And then all the cute girls are like, well, why are you coming to her? Look at her shoes. And then back then, I had on like these Reebok shoes. They were all gray, and then I had some Reebok shoes that were all red. One day I couldn't find my gray, all gray Reeboks. And I thought Reeboks were super cool, but back then they were wearing Jordans. But to me, I'm like, my mom finally got me some shoes and they were some gray Reeboks. I was okay with that. And one day I could not find both of my shoes, my gray Reeboks. So I remember I had some all red ones. So, but what I was wearing that day was gray. So I was like, I need my gray one. So I had to switch it up and do a red sweater with the gray shirt underneath. Because I really like them gray Reeboks. So I was like, I'm going to wear one red one and one gray one. Boy, I'm such a lame. Help. Like, help. YouTube. Like, what was I thinking? Like, legit, I can admit that I was just not, like, up to par with people. I really went to school with one gray shoe, one red shoe. And they both was Reeboks, both the same brand, both the same kind. Why does it matter? They both go with my outfit. I had gray and red on. But I know to people, like, why did she really just do that? But I was just being my own self, being my own style. But anyway, so I'm like, all spotlight gonna be on me. Now he's coming to me. Michael, what do you want? He was like, he seen me going to my locker because, you know, half the people don't go to their lockers. You're too nerdy to be trying to go through your locker and get your books. Like, they would rather just have their backpacks on and carry. Like, nobody use lockers unless you just really care to use your locker. So I'm grabbing my next books for my next class, and he says to me, I want to walk you to your next class and hold your books. I was like, me? Not me. You know, I'm not going to say no because, you know, he's cool. I'm like, and I'm not cool. So, yeah, if you want, you can hold my my books for my next class and walk me to my class. And he did. And I think he seen the innocent in me. And we started talking. And he just knew I was just like a good girl. Like, he's like, yeah, she's really not. Like, none of the girls in the high school, they were more experienced. And here I am. I'm like, well, what do he want from me? But maybe some men like good women, good girls that's not really tainted yet. But so he would walk me to class and bring my books, and I'm like, well, now I'm part of the cool crew, because when they would see him doing that for me, they'd be like, well, dang, she's but he would still do it for me. And I was like, wow, that really made me so happy. So he kept doing that for me, and he just kept doing it for me. And no, it wasn't a title, nothing at all. Then this is another story time to let me outside of Washburn High School. So I don't want to open up that story because that's another story I want to give you on another story time that led me out of Washburn High School. But this is leading to how I met him. So I'm going to just close it off to this. This is how I met him. He was the guy that came up to me in high school, helped carry my books to my class, and then Washburn High School took another left turn. It had nothing to do with him or me. I think he ended up also leaving Washburn. Yeah, but I think he left Washburn High School, and then something happened, and then I'll tell y'all what happened with mine. It was like a big situation that happened. Courts were involved. That's how bad the bullying was for me. And I ended up leaving Washburn. So we parted ways, and I never knew like what could have been out of that cool guy that took a chance to bring my books. But anyway, well, now you know. As I got older and I was like I was out of school, graduated. Dang, how old was I? Dang, was I 2021? Yeah, it was 2021, and I ran back into him, and he had a baby, and I'm like, and I had a baby, because I had my child at 17 by my daughter's dad. Then I think he had 2 kids, and I only had 1. So he was way more sexually active than I was. So we linked back up. He wasn't with his baby mom. I wasn't with my daughter's dad. So we started talking, and then we started dating. Then dating led to, us being intimate, because of course I wasn't a virgin anymore. So he's like, dang, she's not a virgin anymore. So we dated, then we were like really dating for like 4 or 5 years. And he was a wonderful stepdad to my daughter. Like, still to this day, he'd be like, who's your true love? Who's your first love? And I'm like, you. And I'm going to call him Michael. I'm like, you, Michael, of course. But needless to say, when you grow older, the person that you thought you are in love with at that time, you're not really in love with. Like, I love him, but if I had to choose like who I was more in love with, is more people that I experienced more later on in life. So yeah, I loved him, but you know, he got to understand, like, you started growing up and experiencing real like love. But he was a good stepdad. I remember like there was times where I couldn't afford Pampers because I was still trying to find my way in the world, like as being a single mother, working a minimum wage job, and then living in a studio apartment. Like sometimes I would just run out of items, and he would come and save the day. Like he just like birthed my daughter. Like I've just never had nobody that was, you were nice in school, then you were nice outside of school, like nice. Still to this day, he checks in on my daughter and she's 15, and it's just like, he was really like sweet, like, cause he didn't have to do that. He have 2 kids, and I wasn't contributing nothing to his kids, cause I'm like trying to find my way in the world, and he's like, he was always 1 grade above me, so he obviously is a little bit older than me. But the way he was just, yeah, he definitely was way more street knowledge, smart, and all that stuff. So he helped me with my daughter. Then what did he go to jail for? What led him into jail? Dang, this is gonna be y'all gonna probably get a 2 for 1. Yeah, but I don't want to tell you that, because there's another situation that happened with him too that's kind of like a 2 for 1, because he went from a good guy to, you know, just stuff happens in life. So he ended up going to jail for domestic. I think he had a disagreement with his baby mom and something happened, police were called. So he must have did something, because they ain't going to lock you up for domestic if you didn't put your hands on her. So somewhere down the line, he did that, but they weren't together. They always were arguing. And we were together at that time. And it was something that he wanted to grab his son or something like that, or something happened. This screaming happened. She called the police. Obviously, he's in jail, so I had to be there to support him. But long behold, I'm still young, of course. I just only have my permit to drive, and you cannot operate a vehicle without a licensed driver in the vehicle while I'm driving, because I'm under a permit, not a license. So when he got locked up, I'm like, I don't know how to drive to the corrections facility to visit him for visitation. You know, I need a licensed driver. Like, I'm just still trying to find my way at this time. My daughter's young, and I just know I'm dating this guy. Something happened, and I want to support him. So I couldn't figure that out yet. So I'm like, you know what? The best thing I can do is write him, hold him down via writing him. You know, I would, you know, dress up in some nice clothing, take a picture, and I would get it printed out at CVS Pharmacy, and I will send them through the mail so you can have pictures to reference me in jail. That's how much I was like, I'm gonna hold you down. I didn't know what to do. Like, I don't think back then I was putting money on his books, but that should have been a dead giveaway. Like, if I wasn't putting money on your books, who was putting money on your books? And the crazy thing is, he's the type that I didn't need to take care of him like most dudes. I'm the breadwinner. He was like really the breadwinner. Like, he didn't need me to take care of him. He always took care of me, and that's what I liked about Michael, is that he did that for me. But still, who's putting money on your books if I wasn't putting money on your books? So, all right, sorry guys, my camera was overheating, but let me just finish this story. So he got into a domestic, and he was in jail, sending him pictures. I wasn't putting no money on his books, so I should have known something was going down. So anyway, yeah, so I finally got someone to bring me down to the corrections to be visiting him every week that I could while I wasn't in school. And it was my mom. And my mom would go to Plymouth, Minnesota. We would visit him, and you know, everything was fine. I didn't sense anything wasn't normal. Like, we would call and talk on the phone. I'm sending him letters and visiting him. What took a left turn is one day we're visiting him. It's like 7:00 p.m. visiting hours. You wait to be called. And then once you're called, you walk back there, you go visit him. He's in the glass, and I'm visiting him. We're just talking as normal. Then I guess they alerted the sheriff that there's another person out there that's visiting him. It was another woman. So she's standing like right beside me, like waiting for me to like get up. I'm looking at her, looking at him, looking at her, looking at him like, is this a joke? So, you know, you got to keep it cute because, you know, the sheriff there, I ain't trying to go to jail and be on the woman's side of the correction facility because it's a woman and men's jail and it's on the other opposite side. I'm like, yeah, I ain't trying to go to jail for this. But I'm looking at him and looking at her like, is this something I don't know? She was like, I'm his woman. I'm thinking like, oh, that's funny. I'm his woman too. So we both dating him because I'm his woman. She's like, well, I'm his main woman. I was like, is that right? So I look at him. And he over there stuttering, talking about, yeah, it's not what you think, and blah, blah, blah. And he knew he had to make a decision because the sheriff's still sitting here like, so who's finna get up? Because obviously she's coming to visit you. Is she gonna get up? And I'm thinking, looking at the sheriff and looking at him like, I don't need him to make the decision. I'm getting up willfully, willingly, all of that. She can have him. Like, I'm not finna fight over him. Like, it was too good to be true anyway. You went from a nice person to I don't even know who you are. And it ain't worth me bringing my mom down here to this jail to visit some guy that I thought was my man and you're not my man. So you embarrassed me and my mom? No, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. And I'm not writing you, so I wasn't going to even give this girl the date or time. And the crazy thing is, she looking at me like she was just some top-notch woman, and not to break no woman down or anything, but the way she was looking at me like, ugh, why are you with her? But never mind, I'm gonna keep my thoughts to myself. But I'm just like, girl, like, we have no room to be talking about nobody. But anyway, I was not gonna get into a catty thing because I know who I am and I know what I can offer, so whatever. So she ends up saying like, no, so he ends up like sending me letters, you know, basically trying to get me to come back to visit him, but he knew it was over with. Like, you don't have me come visit you and visit another. Like, you cheating while in jail. Like you went in my man, and then you went out, and then you went in with me as my man, but then as you're in jail, you're cheating on me. So you're gonna come out without me because basically I'm not your woman anymore. So it's like, what the hell just happened? Not only that, I'm starting to think like you was talking to her before you went in, so I really wasn't your woman. We were sharing you because somebody slipped up and said years on down the line, like this was like couple years later, saying that yeah, he been knowing her but they said together for some years, 2 or 3 years or something like that. They've been knowing each other for 5 years. So she been knowing him. Because when he finally got out of jail and he seen that I was not giving him the time of day, he showed up to my mom's house, banging on the outside of the window. Not banging, but just not to. So when he got out of jail, he I don't know, took a taxi to because back then it wasn't Uber and Lyft. He took a taxi to my mom's crib, and it was like nighttime, and he showed up because he knew like I got away. Like, yeah, I lost her. Yeah, you sure did. Now you get to be out to be a free man, and you don't have me. And I was holding you down, or trying somewhat to hold you down at that young age. And he went up to my mom's house and knocked on her door. No response because we couldn't hear it back then. Then he knocked on my window because he knew where my room was, and my room was on the lower level, so like literally the first level. And he was knocking. And I'm like, this Michael. And I'm like, what do you want? He's like, just let me in, I want to talk. And I'm like, well, what do you want to talk about? You nigga, you cheated on me in jail. I was with her and you was with me. What's there to talk about? What's there to talk about? So I let him in, started talking to him and listening to him explain his story about it's not what you think. I've been trying to get a hold of you. But right then, my heart was crushed. You embarrassed me and embarrassed my mom. We was coming out there faithfully every week. Whatever gas money I can provide my mom to come see you, that's what I did. Because you lived in Plymouth, Minnesota. And that was further from where we stayed. So we would drive that drive to come see you. And my mom wasn't getting nothing out of it. She had to sit in the waiting room while I'm visiting you. Like she wasn't getting nothing out of it but some gas money, and it was boring for her when the hour, I'm conversating with you for visitation. So that's like a slap in my face. And I know he didn't know that the other girl was going to show up, but so he was intentionally trying to disrespect my mom. But wherever the case may be, you still was cheating on me behind my back. So I got cheated on with, while he was in jail. He got out trying to profess his love for me. And I didn't want to hurt his feelings, so I was like, we can be friends, and I'll still always talk to you, but just not on a dating tip. Like, I just can't see myself dating you from, what you did. So we ended up just being friends, and he's still like my best friend to this day. Sort of, not really my best friend, but he's like a friend to me. Like, if he ever needed me, I'll be there for him. But as far as in like the relationship tip, no. Because every single time this dude has women. And the crazy thing about it is he still tries to cross over that friendship line and be like, well, are you single? And I'm like, now, Michael, yes, I'm single, but I'm not single where I'm going to try you again. And then if I wasn't single, like right now I am dating, I could just tell you I'm dating and, he has to live with that. But the crazy thing about it is he posts his significant other and I'm like, aren't you in a situationship, relationship, whatever you want to call it? He'd be like, well, yeah, but we ain't working out. Well, why do you keep trying to mix the line? Like, you're just no good. How about you end that first before you try to even ask if somebody's single? Like, that's that stuff I be talking about with him. Like, he wondered why I would never be able to get back with him, never be able to trust him. Like, you ruined my, like, whole thought process of what a man should be. You went from being nice to, like, this freaking demon. Like, not demon, but you just went, 0 to 100. So it's like he still doesn't understand even to this day. And we're in our 30s now. It's like, dude, you with somebody. Like, if it ain't working out, tell her. Like, what are we doing here? Like, if it ain't working out with somebody, I'm going to tell him. Like, I'm not going to keep leading him on. So I want to tell you about another situation that happened with him. But that's going to be another story time. So long story short, that is how I got cheated on while he was locked up. So this was just a short story time, but I'm also going to be vlogging another story time right after this one about part 2 of what happened with this guy. So thank you all for tuning in to this video. I will keep bringing you more content. I do want to show you guys my stomach, but not in this video because I did do some micro needling and did some sculpture treatment for my stomach. So I do want to show you guys that. So but thank you guys for all tuning in. I'll definitely see you guys in the next clip. Thank you for all who've been subscribing to my channel. I really do appreciate that. And you know I love you and welcome to the family. Bye. Sorry guys, I got one more thing I wanted to say. Just random question, just random thought. Why is it that when a guy gets locked up in jail and you go to support them and visit them, why do they tell you all of this good stuff when you're visiting them, but soon as you get out, they act like they have amnesia where they just forgot everything that they said? All their promises about, oh, I'm going to marry you when I get out, and all of that goes downhill. Why is that? If there any fellas that subscribe to my channel, can you please tell me, why does that happen? What does that mean? Why are they just giving out empty promises and empty, like, conversation about stuff that they know they're not going to do? And then why do they forget who was holding them down when they're in jail? Why do they do that? Is it just a point of passing time by? Is I'm just going to say things that makes her happy or makes him happy in the meantime? Like, I just don't get why people do that. That was my final thought. Thanks everybody for tuning in.